What's good, everyone? This is X, and I'm doing an analysis video for the first two Uncharted trailers that came out. First being the teaser trailer that came out at VGX last year, and the E3 trailer that came out last night, June 9th, 2014. And ending off the day so epically, by the way. Damn, such a good trailer. Anyway, I'm going to talk about what I found in the videos and also the research that I got from them. So, the first one being the teaser video. Near the south coast of Madagascar, you can see that it is written, "Every betrayed us all." What or who is Every? I did not know at the time. And so after doing some research, I found out that it was a notorious pirate by the name of Henry Every. And this guy is absolutely legendary, and I do not know how I didn't know about him earlier on. Basically, he is the most notorious pirate of his time because he was one of the few major pirate captains to retire with his loot without being arrested or killed, and also for being the perpetrator of what has been called the most profitable pirate raid in history. And also he was a pirate for only 2 years, which makes it like kind of insane. So a bit of background, he used to be in the Royal Navy of England, but Every was discharged from the Royal Navy. And he got mixed in also with some slave trading in Africa. And basically, when I think of the voice that comes from the trailer saying, "Oh, you left me to rot for 15 years, you owe me," stuff like that. Well, this guy is pretty fitting because basically there is a quote from this guy called Captain Thomas Phillips of the Hannibal, and Hannibal is a ship, who was then on a slaving mission on the Guinea coast, writes about him saying, "I have nowhere upon the coast met the Negroes so shy as here, which makes me fancy they have had tricks played them by such blades as Long Ben, alias Avery, who have seized them and carried them away." First off, if you're offended by the N-word, I'm sorry. I was just quoting it. And also, Long Ben and Avery, those are both aliases or nicknames for Henry Every. And also it says that Every was known to lure potential slave traders onto his ship by flying friendly English colors, then seize the slave traders themselves and chain them in his ship's hold alongside their former captives, which is pretty clever and pretty cunning as well. So when I first thought of when I saw the trailer, like completely disregarding Every, I thought of this guy called Francis Fletcher, who was aboard Sir Francis Drake's ship when he was doing his 3-year expedition around the world. And at one point, Fletcher was sometimes at odds with Drake. And in a sermon he preached to the expedition in January 1580, that Fletcher suggested that their ship's recent woes had resulted from the unjust death of Thomas Doughty, who was also aboard the ship. After the sermon, Drake had Fletcher chained to a hatch cover and then solemnly excommunicated him off the coast of Madagascar. And so I thought that's what it was. It could still be related at some point, but they have 100 years difference, where Francis Fletcher was excommunicated in the 1500s and Henry Every and his piracy and everything was in the 1600s. Maybe Naughty Dog might make a connection between the two, but other than Francis Drake and Henry Every being noble pirates, there might not be much of a connection. Now, the way Every became a notorious captain was through mutiny, and so at approximately 9 p.m. on 7th of May of 1694, Every and about 25 other men rushed aboard the Charles II, which was an English ship, and they surprised the crew on board. The captain at the time was bedridden, and so the mutiny ended bloodlessly, so nobody had to get killed. Every asked the captain that if he wanted to join their cause, and if he would let him command the ship. But the captain said no, and so he was just set ashore with a few other people, a few other sailors. And then all the men left on the Charles II unanimously elected Every as the captain. And then he basically convinced all the men to sail to the Indian Ocean as pirates, since their original mission had greatly resembled piracy, and Every was renowned for his powers of persuasion. Every then renamed the Charles II the Fancy, a name which reflected both the crew's renewed hope in their journey and the quality of the ship, and set course for the Cape of Good Hope. We can see that the Cape of Good Hope is also written on the map on the Uncharted teaser trailer. It's actually one of the first written words you get to actually see be written right near the beginning of the teaser. When I did my research on the Cape of Good Hope, I found out that it was the legendary home to the Flying Dutchman. No idea if this is just the most retarded coincidence ever, or if it actually has something to it, but I have no idea. Frankly, I'm just, clutching at straws here, but I'm trying my best. On the About page of the UnchartedTheGame.com, which I read earlier, where it said Drake embarks on a globe-trotting journey in a pursuit of a historical conspiracy behind a fabled pirate treasure. I think that maybe the historical conspiracy, it may be the Flying Dutchman, and the fabled pirate is Henry Every and his treasure. Or maybe it is something about Libertalia, which I will also be talking more about in a bit. Now for the greatest pirate raid ever that granted Every his notoriety and his legendary status. He set sail for the volcanic island of Param to wait for the Indian fleet that would be passing soon. And it was easily the richest prize in Asia and perhaps the entire world. And so when the Fancy reached the Straits of Bab el Mandeb, where he joined forces with 5 other pirate captains, which are Thomas Tew on the Amity, with a crew of about 60 men, Joseph Farrow on the Portsmouth Adventure with 60 men, Richard Want on the Dolphin, also with 60 men, William Ways on the Pearl with 30 or 40 men, and Thomas Wake on the Susanna with 70 men. All of these captains were carrying privateering commissions that implicated almost the entire eastern seaboard of North America, and Every was elected admiral of the new 6-ship pirate flotilla, and now Every found himself in command of over 440 men while they lay in wait for the Indian fleet. I'm going to keep this bit short so I could explain it in one video, because the entire battle is pretty long, but I'll put a link in the description if you want to read on about it, because it's pretty interesting. But the 2 major ships that Every's fleet were going after were the Fateh Muhammad, and that one had 50,000 to 60,000 pounds worth of treasure, pounds as in the currency. And the second ship, which was the bigger ship, it was called the Ganj-i-Sawai, and the literal translation to English means exceeding treasure. And on that ship, it totaled somewhere between 200,000 to 600,000 pounds worth of treasure, including 500,000 gold and silver pieces. So all of that made it the richest ship ever taken by pirates, and that is kind of insane, and that made Every the richest pirate in the world. Now this is the part where things all kind of tie together. There's a guy called Adrian van Broek who claimed to be a Dutchman who endured captivity by Every's crew, and he tells about his account on Every's ship. And Every is depicted as both a treacherous pirate and a romantic lover. And after he raids the Muggles' ship, which is the Ganj-i-Sawai that he raided, he actually runs off with and later marries the Emperor's daughter, who was aboard the Ganj-i-Sawai. And the couple then flee the Muggles' army to St. Mary's Island, where Every sets up a pirate utopia similar to the fictional pirate state of Libertalia. Now the cool part is that Libertalia is like this utopian haven for pirates, and the motto of Libertalia is "For God and Liberty," and its flag was white in contrast to a Jolly Roger. On the Uncharted teaser, next to the Skull and Crossbones, which is the Jolly Roger, it says "For God and Liberty." Now, what I believe is that the X that marks the spot on Ile Sainte-Marie, or St. Mary's Island, is where this fictional utopia of Libertalia is, or the utopian state that is similar to Libertalia that Henry Every created and founded, which he then became known as the King of Madagascar, and he commanded around 15,000 pirates and a fleet of 40 warships, and it was said that he lived a fantastic luxury in an impregnable fortress beyond the reach of his English and Muggle adversaries. And also, Every minted his own currency, and so he had gold coins engraved in his royal likeness. Now, what does this have to do with Nathan Drake? I have no idea. I have no idea why he's going to be there. Maybe he just wants to find all this treasure. Maybe Sir Francis Drake has something to do. I don't know. I highly doubt it. But it can happen. Naughty Dog can make a connection somehow. And so what I personally think Uncharted 4 is about... forgot about one thing. Uncharted 4's title is A Thief's End, which makes sense for Henry Every because after his 2 years of piracy and all the riches he attained, he settled down in his own utopian state similar to Libertalia, and he was just done. It was over for him. It was his end. Though, of course, he didn't obviously stay there forever because at one point there was a proclamation for the apprehension of him and his crew, and so he had to escape and he went to England, but it was still his end. So this game can be Nathan Drake's final game. It might be his end, as well as it was Henry Every's end. Maybe even Sully's end. It could be everybody's end. We have no idea what's in store for us, but I'm pretty sure Naughty Dog is going to do a fantastic job with this game, and they're going to surprise us with everything. One final thing about this entire analysis is that in the E3 trailer that came out yesterday, near the end you could see that there are a bunch of skeletons on gibbets, which are basically hanging cages in which they're tortured or killed or just left to rot there. And on the very, the closest one to the camera near the end where there's emphasis on, you could see that the skeleton looks kind of like he has an eye patch on made of cloth, and also on the cage itself it is written, engraved, it is written, "For we receive the due reward of our deeds." And I'm guessing the deed they did was the piracy, and their due reward was rotting in a cage for many years and becoming a skeleton. This new Uncharted is undoubtedly about pirates, since Henry Every and Libertalia's motto are both mentioned in the VGX teaser, and also these gibbets and skeletons and things in the E3 trailer. So this just has to do with pirates. Hopefully my in-depth analysis and research wasn't too wasted, and I hope that I wasn't too far off either. Tell me what you guys think down below. Hopefully this analysis wasn't too long. It looks like it's about 13 and a half minutes. So that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.